Look, let's move on now to another headline on the front of the Australian tomorrow. Joe Biden's disappointing decision to abandon the Quad Leaders Summit to deal with a political crisis at home is a diplomatic blow for Australia and the region. That's what Chief International Correspondent Cameron Stewart writes in the Australian tomorrow. And of course, that story is making news over on the Sydney Morning Herald with the headline reading, Biden nixes Quad Squad. The last-minute cancellation of US President Joe Biden's trip to Australia has thrown efforts to entrench the Quad grouping as a powerful democratic alternative to China into disarray, with former Prime Minister Scott Morrison warning against any watering down of the four-nation partnership. Daisy, look, I think I said it on social media today. Joe Biden seems to be the type of guy that, has to adhere to things like a deadline just to get through the day. And then when that deadline looms and things haven't happened, he has to cancel all the plans. This is such a disappointment, not only for Australia, but more importantly for areas like Papua New Guinea, where they were supposed to, they were having a public holiday and they were going to talk about the fact that they really needed to solidify their association with AUKUS, whether, officially or not, as a bit of a warning sign to China.
It is really disappointing, isn't it, Jenna? It is the very, very definition of an anticlimax, which is, fair enough. That's really what sort of Joe Biden is. He's an anticlimax in just about every facet of his life. This is just another symptom of the problem. But it really, for an organisation that wants to be sort of, to sort of stand up to China and be a serious force, for the key member of that organisation to just sort of, not turn up. China must be laughing at us now, particularly when you consider the previous story, with tariffs and Farrell's bad news and all of that sort of thing. So this is a shame. It's not surprising. I am interested to see what happens. I'm considering the reason that Joe Biden is staying. They're going to try to make sure the US debt ceiling doesn't fall in, because to be fair, if that happens, we're all down the toilet. So hopefully his staying in America is actually worth it and they get the result they want. But yeah, this is just very, very typical of old Sleepy Joe, and it is a terrible shame, certainly.
Yeah, look, almost 4 years ago, we heard Kamala Harris saying, "We did it, Joe," and now, Godspeed, Joe. You're going to need every single break to go your way in those negotiations with Congress. That's for sure.